trees, cultivated half its fertile land, and now fishes across most of the ocean. In the last 50 years, the populations of wild animals have reduced by 60%. We've replaced them with ourselves and our domesticated animals and plants. Today, we and the animals we raise account for 96% of the mass of mammals and 70% of the birds on Earth. There's very little wild left. This biodiversity loss is not just a tragedy, it's the single biggest problem we face. Without biodiversity, the world as we know it doesn't work. Our planet needs its wild spaces. Every one is a component in the global machine. Only if they are all healthy can the planet run smoothly. A less wild world is less able to provide for our needs, less able to maintain dependable weather and seasons, less able to absorb our impact. Biodiversity equals stability, and stability is what we need most of all. Can we turn this situation around? Can we rewild the world? Well, maybe, due to one key change. As societies develop, something is happening that has never happened before. People are having fewer children. Globally, since the year 2000, the number of people under 16 years old has hardly changed. The main reason our population is still rising is because people are living longer. If this continues, our population may finally stop growing by the turn of the century. By investing in education and women's rights and raising people out of poverty, we could bring about peak human even sooner. This changes everything. It gives us the opportunity we need to regain our balance. The plan for our planet is remarkably simple. Reduce our impact by making sure that everything we do, we can do forever. For the biggest gains, we could concentrate our efforts on 4 goals. Phasing out fossil fuels and replacing them with renewables. This will not only slow the warming of the planet and the acidification of the ocean, but it will lead to clean air for all of us. Upgrading to efficient food production and reducing our consumption of meat. We'll require far less space to provide for ourselves, leaving more for grasslands, reducing deforestation and our demand for fresh water, and feeding more people with healthier, more affordable food. Working together to properly manage our ocean. A global network of no-fish zones and a treaty on the use of international waters would restore the health of the ocean so it actually produces more fish for us all to eat. Working hard to keep hold of the wild populations we still have, encouraging nature wherever we can. In the ocean, on land we no longer need, and even in our cities. If we make these changes, we'll be a long way to becoming a species in balance with nature once again. We will have taken a remarkable journey, from 1 million people struggling to survive to several billion living long, healthy lives on a stable planet, able to provide for all our needs. Only at that point will the Anthropocene, the age of humans, be truly underway. At that point, we will be proud to call it our planet.
Wonderful morning and afternoon to each and everyone connecting on this transformative program. And I'm going to leave us all to that last question that was asked in that video that was being shared earlier. And I will be your learning coordinator for this morning. I'm Emmanuel Oluwoyo by name. And it's so good to be on your face this morning. Thank you for joining, and our sincere apologies that couldn't add our first session at 10 o'clock. So right about now, I know it's been an amazing time or an impactful session for you all. And this morning, we're also going to be having the final lap of our training sessions for the foundation class phase of this program. And this morning, I can see her hands up. I really wish to do something very spectacular, but really don't have that time. I would have loved to take one or two feedbacks to just, okay, Madam Timitayo, please, I want to say good morning, and I would just like to seek 1 or 2 minutes before we go straight to your session. Yeah, we'd like to take 1 or 2 feedback. It's going to be live. We'd just like you to raise your hand. You want to say something, what has changed in you, what has been the impact so far on the program, and what are the things you've learned, and what are the things you hope to inculcate, those solutions you hope to come up with in your respective country. I just want to take 2, hopefully a male and a female. You can raise your hand up if you would like to speak, or use the comment section, or preferably use the Q&A session, because that will help us to see your comments easily. All right, so I will start from, I can see God's hand up. And please, this is very important. You are starting with the country you are joining from, your country name. Maybe you are joining from Kenya, or you are joining from Nigeria, your country name, your first name, and your last name. Your first name is your personal name. So my first name is Emmanuel, and my last name is Olaloyo. So let's get that done as soon as possible. All right, Gosri, can you unmute your mic and share your feedback with us?
Morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning, Gosri.
Okay, it's been a learning process for me. I've actually really been impacted. My psychology and thought about climate change and the SDGs has really changed. I have been motivated to take up this message to my community, as I had included in my project, to take up this message of climate change in my community. I've actually had started the advocacy, although just a little, on renewable energy, tree planting, and indiscriminate burning of refuse, proper refuse
management.
Yes, management, exactly. So it's really been an interesting time for me, and all the wonderful people I've met in this program. The benefit is unquantifiable. I want to say a very big thank you to the organizer.
The benefit is quantifiable. I like that word. Thank you. All right, can we have, I can see a lot of hand up, but we'll just take 2 and we move straight to that session. And after the training session, we go back to that and we have more discussion. We are going to have more discussions today anyway. Yeah. All right, can we have Luz from Cameroon? Luz, can you unmute your mic and share your feedback in a minute?
Good morning to everyone. Good morning. I'm Julius Fung chatting from Cameroon. Actually, as far as the training is concerned, this training actually still up my Z in the climate action in achieving the goal 12, which is sustainable consumption and production. Actually, I initiated an activity under our organization known as Consumer Welfare League. So after this these few days of training, I just reinforced our activities by going out to the street to actually sensitize consumers on the dangers of plastic waste and on how they can take active steps towards beating plastic pollution. And specifically, the second presenter, I developed a lot of ideas, a lot of inspiration from his presentation when he presented the three approaches in which can actually be adopted in order to achieve the sustainable development goals. That is globalization, personalization, and collaboration. Thank you.
Good morning. I've just observed that I've been asked to speak. Is that okay, Chair?
Yes, you can speak on. You can speak on, Katrika. Hello, Katrusha. You can speak on if you want to. I can't hear you. Okay, your audio is muted. Oh, all right. They are going to give you permission to. All right, you can unmute now. I think you have the permission to unmute now.
Thank you so much. I have learned a lot, and I am going to continue with a project around. My name is Katusha Nkosha from Zambia. So my projects have been around Sustainable Development Goal number 5, and I have learned a lot around knowing what the goals are and the objectives around the goals and really the framework. So part of my project is actually to promote gender transformative leadership, because looking at our midterm review as a country, we are still lacking around the area of women in leadership. Currently, our country has never had even a female president from independence. So as part of my project, I really want to sensitize, starting from the schools, how girls can be empowered to actually take up active leadership roles, not only to end in the schools, but also out there and promote impact. Of course, working together with the males. Thank you so much.
All right, it's so good to hear from you and that wonderful impact and move you are making in your country. So good to connect with each and everyone across African countries. And right about now, we are going to be starting our session on building sustainable solutions for African transformation, And I'm just going to speak less to that because we have an industry expert in our midst this morning or this afternoon for those who are joining maybe from East Africa. And in person of Madam Temitayo Hade Peters, who is an communication, sustainability, and development field. She's currently the CEO of We for Good International, a sustainable solutions and impact design firm that explores the methods and mindset of human-centered design to co-create innovative solutions with people and organizations committed to tackling Africans' most pressing challenge. So I can say that we are all blessed this morning to have Madam Temitayo in our midst this morning. And so good to have you on the call. Good morning, Madam Temitayo. I believe you can hear me. Oh. Please, just in a minute, while we have our speaker join us back, I knew that she was on the call earlier. Hopefully she's offline currently. Then once she's back, we are going to start. So I will just take more feedbacks, and while we wait for our facilitator for this morning to join us. Okay, can we have Prince? Prince, can you unmute your mic and share your feedback?
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Prince.
Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been since the beginning of this fellowship, I anticipate everything because it's been amazing. So much to learn and to apply in my own organization. Last week, we talked about transformative actions. Class was taken by Mr. Pierre Onyelakin.
Yeah.
So it was, Onyelakin. It was really, really interesting for me because he talked about something that we already started considering, but we were still asking ourselves, how do we apply this? When he talked about digital transformation, that is leveraging on technology, to engage. And in our organization, we take care of street children. We try to see how to give them a permanent transformation from the street life, street mentality, now to a mentality of a normal child, as it's supposed to be. So we are just thinking, how can we use technology? Because it's not really easy, making these children to be comfortable with you, to be excited about what you are doing with them. That's one of the challenges we have, to see them, make them, cooperate.
Its impact and knowledge. Yeah. All right, those are good feedbacks, and I can assure you that, sorry, Prince, you might not be able to move on. I love the feedback you've shared, as it has a real life experience which you're already engaging with your organization. And I can assure you, before the end of this fellowship, you are going to scale up and get to do better and make more impact. And like I earlier said this morning when I was reading the profile for Madam Temitayo, that we are blessed to have her, as this is one of our major area of strength, as she's here this morning to lead us on building sustainable solutions for African transformation. Good morning, Madam Temitayo. It's good to have you on the call. I believe you can unmute and speak.
Good morning. How is everyone? Sorry, my voice is a bit, I think I'm coming down with a bit of sore throat, but that's fine. I'm sure you can hear me. Can everyone hear me well? Can you hear me? Okay, excellent. So good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here.
We hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly.
Yes, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy to see everyone. I'm always excited when I see young people making strides, to make the continent better. Because every time I have this opportunity, what I always say is that young people, when it comes to Africa, we have a very large opportunity, a very huge opportunity on our hands. And young people are not just people say young people are the leaders of tomorrow. That's fine. But beyond being leaders of tomorrow, where young people are actually the owners of tomorrow. You know what it means when you own it? You own tomorrow. So whatever it is that is done today is what is going to be available tomorrow. So that's why we need to, and nobody can solve Africa's problems like Africans. We know where the shoe pinches us the most. We know exactly what is happening. We experience it firsthand. And so Africans are the best when it comes to solving Africa's problems. Other people can only try, but Africans will be the best people to solve Africa's problems. And that's why I'm very excited to have you all here. This is such a huge class. It's such a huge class. Someone says my audio. Can you hear me? I want to know.
Yes, we can hear you loud and audible.
Okay, so God's will, it might be your network. You might need to sign out and maybe sign in again so that you can have better audio. Okay, so thank you very much. So I'm just going to quickly share. So today, you know that we're talking about building sustainable solutions for Africa's transformation, and that's so huge, so huge. But with all I've heard here today, from all the feedback gotten, I believe that everyone is ready to really make this transformation that we're talking about. So thank you. I'm just going to go ahead and share my slide because we've spent quite some time so that we can also have time for questions. Can everyone see my slides?
Yes, we can see your slides. We appreciate you enable full screen.
Okay. Is it better now? Okay, it's still. Is it better now?
Yes, but it's still showing the other parts, which might be the the next slide you are projecting.
Okay.
So
let me try it now.
All right. So guys, while Madam Temtayo keeps working on a slide, I believe we are set for today. And please, if you want to ask a question, use the Q&A session to ask your question, not the comment session, not the chat session. And to our amazing participants, we are not leaving you behind. We dare not, and you are part of this series. Please use the comment section to ask your question. The program managers are going to pick it up from there and share with the facilitator for today. Your slide is it's perfect now, man. You can run on your session.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Okay, so like I said, we want to talk about building sustainable solutions for Africa's transformation. This is one of the topics I love. In fact, I'm having a course for African entrepreneurs on how they can build sustainable solutions for Africa's transformation. Because, you know, I was talking to Emmanuel the other day, and I was telling him that, so, you know, when it comes to development is very, you know, there's the dilemma of development, you know, when you talk about, okay, we have to develop, but then how do we develop? You know, so right now, what got us here in the first place, what got us in the many challenges that we are facing as a globe, you know, in terms of globally as in the world, is our, you know, our intent to develop, you know, trying to develop, but we carried out development at the expense of planetary boundaries, at the expense of biodiversity, at the expense of social equity, at the expense of so many things. And that's why we are here today. Everywhere you turn, there's an environmental challenge going on, there's a social challenge going on, there's an economic challenge going on. Can you please put your hands down so that I won't think that you are putting it up for me?
Okay. I think the admin will just lower our hands, man, so that that won't distract you.
Okay. So there are so many things happening, you know, and that's what got us here in the first place. So what we are saying is that when it comes to Africa, Africa has the opportunity right now to do it right. And that's why, as we try to, when you talk about solutions, what are solutions? Solutions are, solutions happen along the lines of challenges. So there must be challenges before you talk about solutions. So solutions are those, I'll call them sets of, maybe systems, processes, products, services, and various things that people try to put in place to address specific challenges. That's what solutions are. So when it comes to Africa, that we have a lot of those challenges, and of course we need solutions to them. But we're saying, when you want to create these solutions, don't just build solutions that are what? Sustainable. Solutions that are sustainable, so that in the long run, you won't be caught up in another, you won't have created another problem that will now start looking for solutions for. And many times, you might even create a bigger problem. So I usually try to give the example, so here in Nigeria, we have what we call pure water, commonly called pure water, sachet water, like some people call it. So you have water in these sachets, that they've put together, and everyone buys them to solve drinking water issues. However, the real reason this business started was because the water boards were not working as they ought to, so that people could have. When I was younger, when I was a child, we used to drink water from the taps. I remember in boarding school, then people even used to suck out the water from the taps. They go to the taps and start trying to bring out water. I say, oh, the water is not coming. When we try to pull it out, people would use their mouths as sort of like, how will I call it, to try to pull the water out. And that was what people used to do. But today, you don't even have water running in government, a lot of government taps. And then people don't even trust it enough to actually drink it, And so that's how pure water business started. And so you have the water in sachet now, is everywhere. But when it was starting, nobody was thinking about the disposal of how those sachets were going to be disposed. And today, you have all those sachets littering everywhere. You have them littering. And now we are talking about, how do you curb plastic waste from pure water sachets? So, there's been a solution, but then that solution has also created another problem that we are also now, you can tell that in some communities, the pure water sachets will be the major, some of the major plastic waste that might be blocking their waterways and causing flooding, bringing mosquitoes and other pests and diseases that will be affecting those communities. So from there, we already have a waste problem, which is environmental. We already have health problems from all the water waste, from all the blockages that will happen, and the mosquitoes and all these things that will happen in those communities. And we also have an economic problem from flooding, So it's very important when we are developing solutions to always think about the sustainability of these solutions, okay? So today we're going to try to understand some of Africa's challenges, starting from the context of global challenges, because there are global challenges already. Now we want to talk about what are the specific challenges when it comes to Africa. We're also going to talk about the principles of sustainable development. So let's talk a bit more about sustainable development. We're going to look at sustainable market opportunities. What are the opportunities that are available, when it comes to sustainability? Then we're going to look at the sustainable development compass, and then I'm going to give you some call to action, and then we're going to close it. So, yeah. Okay, so let's go on. I hope you can all hear me. If you hear me, say hi.
I can hear you.
Beautiful. Okay, let's go on then. So I think I've given a bit of the introduction, so we can go in. If you have your questions, you can drop them in the Q&A box, and I'll look at it from time to time and answer those that I can answer within, that won't take us from what we're talking about, and then we can take others later. Okay, so we're talking about, I think there are some people in the waiting room, Emmanuel. So we're talking about challenges, global challenges. So if you look at this page, you see a lot of challenges. You have challenges of extreme weather. Some of them are actually, some of these challenges are environmental, some of them are economic, some of them are social, some of them are even around the areas of technology. We mentioned trying to solve problems and then probably creating some other new problems. And this is according to the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report of 2020. So you have a lot of problems here. If you look at it, some of them you can recognize them in Africa as well. So you have extreme weather situations, you have droughts, you have human-made environmental disasters. You have some of that happening. Like look at like the disaster that happened recently in South Africa. Did you hear about that road explosion? I've not followed through with it, but some allude to the fact that it might be an underground gas pipe that exploded. So you have human-made environmental disasters. Look at, for example, in Nigeria's Niger Delta, at the environmental degradation going on there in that place. Look at climate action failure. Look at the food crisis that is happening. Africa imports tons of food. Africa has one of the largest, if not the largest, arid land in the world, and then we still import tons of food. That's food crisis. And every time a lot of our spending when it comes to FX spending goes into food. It's almost unbelievable that Africa will be spending so much importing food. That's a huge crisis, because if there's any movement, any shake at all, in any of those, when it comes to global issues, then there's going to be crisis. And that's why, if you look at, I'm going to keep referring to Nigeria because I'm here. If you look at Nigeria, for example, food cost has skyrocketed, triple. It was already quite expensive. Now it has tripled in price. And you just wonder how the poor people will be managing right now, how the less privileged, will be managing, how they were already below the poverty line. Now, where would they be? You just imagine those. And some of these things and all of these challenges are actually interconnected. They are, because the moment you have, look at in Kenya, for example, you have the problem. You have people are out there protesting because of rising costs, rising costs, and automatically that has led to social instability. It has led to social instability because people, you can't expect people to just sit down when there's challenges, there are issues. It automatically leads to that, and of course you talk about unemployment, all of these things. If you look at it deeply, you find Africa sitting right on this table, like we usually say, sitting on this table. Look at fraud. You talk about cyber attacks. People are being attacked daily, being defrauded of their funds and of what they have. You talk about infectious diseases. There's still this one, anthrax, or what is it called now, that is flying around again. We just came out of COVID-19. Before that, we had Ebola. You have the Lassa fever. You talk about diarrhea. From time to time, you just talk about. So there are infectious diseases, all of these things happening, a myriad of issues, fiscal crisis for nations. So let's look at the top 10 global risk by severity. This is according to the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report of 2022. So the number one top global risk is, according to the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report, is climate action failure. Climate action failure, that's the number one risk. Number two, we have extreme weather. Extreme weather is a real risk, is a dangerous one. We have biodiversity loss, because that would disrupt the equilibrium of the food chain. It will really it will disrupt the food chain, and it will affect a lot of things. We also have social cohesion. There's the erosion of social cohesion, and you can see that once you have that problem, then you start having a lot of crises, a lot of outrages everywhere. You start having a lot of riots, a lot of demonstrations, youth restlessness, crime rates will likely increase when there is unemployment and when there's livelihood crisis. Livelihood crisis, it will also lead to a lot of health challenges. We'll talk about mental health issues. When there's mental health issues, people begin to do the things that normally they won't do. They act irrationally because of mental health. You have infectious diseases spreading all around. And when there isn't enough financial capabilities to handle that, then you have a lot of deaths can happen, and that will also erode economic stability of the nation, when a lot of money has to be pumped into handling infectious diseases. You also have human environmental damage. It's a great risk, human environmental damage. You also have natural resource crisis. Natural resource crisis, you have debt crisis for nations, and you of course have geo-economic confrontations. You begin to have those confrontations that will happen within nations, intra and even inter-nations. You begin to have economic confrontations leading to wars, leading to those pockets of issues here and there. So this is an issue. It's a great problem. And and in all of this, global population is still rising. And we know that Africa's population is rising. Is rising. Nigeria's population is rising amazingly within Africa. Population is rising. And already Africa has the youngest population right now. And that population, and with that, it means these young people are also going to procreate. They're also going to have their own children. So you can imagine what to expect. All right. So those are all challenges. So population, because we still need to meet the needs of these people. And already we are saying that we're already having challenges, even meeting the needs of those we have right now. So how do we then meet the needs of this rising population? Okay, let's go on. I hope you're following.
Yes, absolutely, Ma. Thank you for the wonderful session so far.
Thank you. So now let's drill down to Africa's own challenges. Let's look at the challenges. I decided to make this pictorial so that we can really see it. When you see it, you can appreciate it better. So from this, can someone, I'm looking at Onyekachi Odo here. Onyekachi, can you tell me what you can see from these images in terms of Africa's challenges? Onyekachi, are you there? Okay, someone else can go. Kedir.
Okay, they might not be able to speak directly. Maybe they will just have to raise your. Can you raise your hand if you want to speak? Then you can be given access to unmute your mic. But I can see hands up now.
Kedir is raising his hand.
Okay. Please, can you allow Kedir to? All right. You can unmute your mic, Kedir, please.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Just try and be more audible.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm seeing from the picture about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
Hello, Kedir. Can you please project a bit, or you are too far from your phone or laptop device? You can move closer.
Hello.
Okay, perfect. We can hear you. We can hear you clearly now. All right, speak on.
Yeah, I am seeing just different pictures over here. They are all the 17 development goals. Just the first one is about utilization of our resource. The second one is just hunger. The third one is education, clean water, health, and a job.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Onyekachi Odor, yes, you can please unmute yourself. So I want you to talk about it from the context of what challenges these are. What are these challenges? Okay. Onyekachi?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. I think Onyekachi's audio is bad.
Okay, so from the pictures, the first, hello, can you hear me now?
Go ahead now, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. So from the first picture I can see it's the issue of, the climate action. So where we see the plastics, which will be recycled and all of that. The second picture, I think has to do with, the issue of, I think hunger. Yeah, looks like hunger. Food, and all. The other one has to do with quality education. We can also see the challenges they have, being that they don't have a good place for them to receive proper education. They have to be on the floor outside in the open. That's a challenge with that. The other challenge you can see is access to clean water and sanitation. You see that they have to go long distances to get water for them to use. On the other hand, we can also see, I think, healthcare, the issue of, not being able to access quality healthcare by the people, by a lot of people in Africa. And the sixth picture shows jobs. So that is like not having access to, decent work. And it also can affect the economy's growth too. Yeah, so those are like the challenges I can see as respect to the SDGs.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'll not be able to take all your hands now, but don't worry, there'll be more opportunities for interaction. So thank you very much. I appreciate everyone who has raised their hand. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So that we can go on. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So yes. So first we have, just like Kedir and Onyekachi have said, we have environmental degradation. We have that challenge in Africa. We have the problem of waste management. How are we going to manage our waste? How do we handle it? We also have the challenge of food security. Is a major one. Food security. We have the challenge of education, poor education. Nigeria has the highest out of school children. We have that. We have the challenge as a continent. We have the challenge of water. You don't have people. A lot of people do not have access to good water, and like Kedir and Onyekachi referred to, once you have the challenge of water, it's very, very it just goes together that you will definitely have the challenge of sanitation. And the moment you have this challenge with sanitation, then health challenges will also creep in. It will just creep in. It will creep in because you can't have an environment that is clean enough. Then you now have the challenge of unemployment, underemployment, low engagement, poor quality engagement. We have all of it. When it comes to Africa, you have a lot of young people that are not employed or that are unemployed. Some of them that have skills, some of them that have not been skilled, neither in education nor in technical skills. And when I mean technical, I'm talking about even vocational, vocational skills. None. Young people that have no skill and no education. That's a challenge. It's a big problem. So even those that have education don't have jobs. Then you now have those that neither have education nor have skills. So that's a big, big problem. It's a big problem. I always tell people that Africa is sitting on a time bomb, especially when it comes to our youth. It's dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. We have to do something about it. We have to do something about it, because when you have young people who are strong, who are active, and then they don't have anything they are doing, the saying that the idle mind is the devil's workshop. They don't have anything they are doing. It's really dangerous. So, but I always also like to talk about challenges, because it is in the midst of challenges that opportunities come. The more your challenges, the more your opportunities. And that's why in all of these, you still find foreigners, those who are not Africans, coming into Africa. Why do you think they are doing that? They are coming in because they know that where the challenges are, that's also where the opportunities are. That's also where the opportunities are. There's a scripture that I like to refer to. It says that where the carcass is, there the eagles gather. When there is when you're looking and you can see eagles, or let's say vultures, looking at it from a Nat Geo Wild perspective, and you can see vultures hovering in the sky in a particular location, you already know. At times, even some other predators like lions and all of that, once they see eagles, vultures gathering, it seems there's something happening there. There must be something happening for these vultures to be gathering. Something happening. So that's the way it is. Where you have the challenges is also where you can come up with solutions. That's also where the opportunities are. Okay. So we don't have to despair. We don't have to feel bad and say, oh, hey, why am I even an African? Oh, why am I in Nigeria? No. That's not it. It's to say, I have a better understanding of these challenges because I grew up here. I have pure understanding. I know what I can talk to people. I can talk to the people and understand their challenges so that I can prefer solutions that will meet their needs in a way that will solve the problem, that will leave a solid dent, an impact on the problem. Yeah, so so here we talk about the principles of sustainable development, and I'm happy with what I've heard from everyone. I'm glad. I will congratulate you, the organizers, for a good job, well done. The cohorts, they have a good understanding, from what I heard. So I understand that you have treated you have treated the SDGs, and that's awesome. So when you look at the SDGs, they are all interconnected. They are all connected one to another. But it's also important that, because recently there's been a lot of questions, people are raising questions around how the SDGs must still, people must still, in executing or in implementing the SDGs, people, change makers, must still have sustainability fully entrenched in their minds. For example, when it comes to decent work and economic growth, if we're not careful, we can still try to provide decent work at the expense of the environment. And so people are saying we still need to be careful that we are not providing, we are not solving, let's say, for example, infrastructural problems, or trying to do, that we still need to put all of these in mind. We still need to have that sustainability, the pillars of sustainability, which is environment, social, and economic, must always be at the back of our minds as we try to do anything, even along the lines of the SDGs. We must always put that at the back of our mind, that what I'm trying to do, does it protect the environment? Does it provide for social equity? At the end of the day, does it provide for social equity? And is it economically viable? And I like what someone was talking about the last time. I don't know who, but someone was talking about the fact that they help street children, and so he was saying they were thinking about how they will be able to do this in a sustainable manner. Yeah, really important to think about it that way, to talk about how to handle this in a sustainable manner. Because for me, I always tell change makers, even if you are an NGO, that you must always think about these three aspects, even if not directly for you, but for the people you are solving for. How is this going to be economically viable? How is it environmental? Does it protect the environment? And does it provide social equity in the long run? Because without that, then it's not sustainable. It isn't, So we have to always think about sustainability. So when we're talking about principles of sustainable development, we'll be talking about the interconnectedness between these principles. We'll be talking about the fact that we need to make sure that every solution that comes out is sustainable, and then we can be looking at some of the technical aspects of trying to look at the circular economy, so that we can shift from the make use and dispose economy to where we can begin to talk about how we can reuse, how we can reduce, how we can make sure that we are recycling, even rethinking, rethinking our processes. Okay, so those are very, very key, when it comes to this. Somebody is raising their hand. Please drop your question in the Q&A, okay? So that, all right? Let me just go there and see. Just give me 1 second, let's see. Okay, so somebody in Ghana is asking that when it comes to sustainable development and regarding all the challenges, where does Africa stand? Has it made progress? In the true sense, you might need to read reports, to have a very clear picture. However, if you just look at it, just look around you, you will realize that in general, Africa hasn't made a lot of progress when it comes to this. We haven't made a lot of progress right now in I'm trying to, is it Mali or which of the countries now? You are still talking about a coup d'etat in this. Sorry if I mentioned the wrong country. I'm trying to just, you are still talking about coup d'etat in this age and in this time, when we should be trying to solve our challenges. We are still drawing back we are still drawing back. You just need to listen to our politicians and some of the things that they talk about for you to know, to decide by yourself whether Africa has really made challenges. Africa has really made progress. You still look at the streets, look at the streets in Africa, look at it. Of course, we're not going to totally condemn ourselves. We will say that we are putting in the effort, but that's also why these kinds of sessions are important, so that young people can begin to look at it deeply and say, what are the areas that we still need to focus on? What is my role in trying to solve this? What can I do? Basically, what can I do? All right. Yeah, so it's the why of why Africa has made progress, made adequate progress is wide. It's not one problem. It's not one. So you talk about our leadership. We have a leadership problem in Africa. We have that. We have the fact that we have not been able to really tackle the root causes of poverty. The real root causes of poverty, we have not been able to tackle it. Also, there's no way you can address the cycle, of pain, that you can stop that cycle of pain, of poverty, of unemployment and all of that, if you don't handle youth development, because like I told you, young people, these are young people, they will also want to make their own families. So, that cycle continues, which means that the root causes of how do we make sure that our people are skilled enough to be able to be productive, so that they can be gainfully employed or engaged, so that they can make money, to be able to stand on their own. Until we solve that, we'll continue to have those challenges. It's a cycle. We continue to have it because it's all tied together. If you don't solve that, there'll be social unrest. People, whatever you build, people burn it down again from time to time. Different things, you take them, you do all of those things. We keep having them. We have protests here and there. So we have to. So you need to sit down, and that's why this is here. You need to sit down, go and do your research, more research, and also now ask yourself, what is my role in all of this, along the lines of the work that I do. Thank you very much. And I think that's one that is open to everyone, to sit down and really ask yourself these questions. And that's why this session is good, because it helps you to think deeper. Okay? Thank you. Good. Okay, somebody says, how can we deal with the corrupt education system to build? Yeah, so if you're interested in building solutions to education, you just dig right into it and know that, and we're still going to get to it, but you have to understand that these things, you can't do it on your own, okay? You can't do it on your own. You need to collaborate with others. You need to have a solid proof of concept. You need to dig into, when it comes to Africa's problems, it's not something that you can do on the surface. If you really want to solve this problem, you need to go deep into the root causes so that you can solve from the root. If you are solving just on the surface, you might not make too much progress. So it needs to go deep, it needs a lot of thinking. All right, good. Okay, I'm going to leave this for now. And but thank you to everyone who is dropping comments. It's very interactive. Thanks. Okay, so let's go on. So we've spoken about those principles of sustainable development, and just move on. So I love this this particular one. So when you talk about challenges, I've told you I love challenges. I love challenges because it is in place of challenges that you also find solutions. So challenges, if you can bring technology into it, and then you can add sustainability to it, wow, you have sustainable market opportunities. That's what you get. So think about any challenge right now that you've seen, or what we've seen, and I've told you that as you try to provide solutions, think about sustainability. Think about it. Is this environmentally, does this protect the environment? Does it protect the environment? Can I bring technology into this? How can I bring technology into this? How can I make technology work for this? What is the digital transformation that I can bring it? And technology is not always about, like, wow, like it has to be big and massive. No. Let me give you a scenario of something that was very amazing for me. So there was this this lady, I think it was a project work or so, and she was trying to solve for, so I think it was health, if I recall very well, it was an health project she was trying to design. So she thought about maybe putting together like a website where people can go, so like a Google for health. Do you understand? Like a Google for health. So where people can go and just put in their questions, and then they can find answers to health challenges, So, and she was developing it for an African rural community. So she had been working on it, and then she was just like, oh, let me go. And this is where design thinking comes to play. When you talk about designing with people in mind, with the people that you're designing for. So she decided to go to the village where she was going to design this. So she spoke to them, and that was when she realized that these people are not even educated. So how would they be able to go on my Google for health and be able to actually answer, ask their questions, and how would they be able to read? So she said, okay, maybe she will have to. So that means she has to first of all start from teaching them. Can you imagine that? So she first of all teach them. So she was like, no, this is where thinking comes in. That's why I love it. You setting time aside to think is work on its own when it comes to trying to solve problems. So she told herself, how do I solve this? How do I? So she said, okay, how about, she said she can't teach them because first of all, is she going to then, even if she teaches them, let's even say she teaches them how to read in their own language, how will she provide those answers? The resources she wants to pull in are from maybe English. How does she provide that? How does she bring that together? So she couldn't, so I'm just going to go straight to the solution she was able to come up with. So, and you'll be shocked at the simple solution. So the solution she came up with was to provide boots, like the those foam boots that we used to have in those days. She provided foam boots, so people will call. They will call. I think they would have to pay. If you call. When you call, somebody will pick your call. The person speaks your language, so the person picks your call, and then you ask your question, person Googles your question, answers it, and tells you your question, tells you your answer in your language. Can you imagine that? And that's technology. Do you understand? So technology is not just about artificial intelligence. It's not just about augmented reality. It's not just about Internet of Things and all of that. It's not until it is big. Technology is not about just slamming, a big technology on your solution so that everybody can say, Prince is, if you know what Prince is using, hey, no, that's not it. It's not about that. It's about providing a solution that meets the needs of the people you want to meet, you want to impact, and then using technology as an amplifier, as an enabler. Because what technology does is that technology helps you. You can imagine if that person, maybe they have to be going to each person, maybe they have to be coming to people's houses, or going to those people's houses and going to say, hey, I have a problem. This is it. Then they now say, oh, sit down. Let me Google it. Oh, this is what it is. How many people can they reach at a time? So technology should help you reduce the cost. It should help you, first of all, reach more people. It should help you reduce the cost both to you and to your users. That's what technology should do. It should be amplifying. It should be enabling. It should be edifying whatever it is that you want to do. So that's the essence of technology. Technology is not just to say so that all the media houses can carry your name and start shouting all over that you are the next big thing since sliced bread. Okay? So think about that deeply whenever you want to work. And for you to be able to get this accurately, you will need to speak to those that you are solving for. That's one aspect that a lot of people don't. Some people talk, but you talk to them, but you're just talking to them just because you just want to talk. You need to talk to them so that you can understand the real root causes of the problem. When you get to the root causes of the problem, then you can prefer solutions that are not just in your own assumption, because we can sit down and be assuming solutions. And then the fact that the root cause of maybe a particular challenge in village A may not be the same even in village B. Not to now talk of like globally. It might not be. The best people to tell you exactly what the root cause of their problem is the people that you want to solve for. Very important. So you cannot cut out the aspect of research. Okay, very key, very key. Take those from me, that technology is not just about slamming. Be very interested, passionate about the use of technology, because that we know we are moving at a pace that is really exponential. But also understand that technology is to solve the problem. You already have, so it's like me. Imagine now that maybe now, just imagine now, I told you that my throat, so my voice is not coming out well. So I want to sing. Then I now pick a microphone as I am now, and then I want to sing. What is going to come out? Is it not what is there that will come out? So that's how technology is like the microphone. You need to have a solution first. Then technology, you now bring technology to amplify it. If you don't have a solution that has addressed the challenges effectively, then you now want to bring technology to it. You just be amplifying problems. That's what you'll be amplifying problems. So think deeply about the problem you want to solve, talk to the people, use your own insights and education and all of that you have, your skills, your knowledge and everything, to now bring solutions that are sustainable, and then think about the kind of technology that will be useful to solve it. Okay. Are we good so far?
Yes, absolutely. But I would just want to stick your nudges that we have 10 more minutes to run the session while we take the question and answer.
Okay, let me be fast then. Let me be fast. Okay. Okay, so talking about market opportunities, I've done you the honor of bringing to you these 60 global hotspots that can grow 2 to 3 times faster than the global economy. This is according to Business and Sustainable Development Commission, the World Commission on Sustainable Development. Okay, so look at this, the World Council on Sustainable Development. So look at this. Look at these market opportunities. Just take a look at them for a minute. If you look at the challenges that we've said about Africa, you will see that these are indeed areas to look at. We're talking about food crisis. Look at these. These are business opportunities and you know, the thing is, according to the Business and Sustainable Development Commission, the sustainable development goals actually has the potential to provide $12 trillion in market opportunities. $12 trillion. And of course, Africa has a share of that because all of these challenges are also here. So if we can solve those problems, and then, you know, you can solve for Africa, and you can even translate, you can push your solutions to the global markets, because some of the problems that we are facing here, they are also being faced in other parts of the world. You can push your solutions to the global market. So look at it. So we say, for example, in food and agriculture, how can you reduce food waste in the value chain? These are business opportunities. So look at them, okay? And look at them and look at how technology can also come to play, okay? How technology can, look at telehealth, for example. Telehealth, how does technology come to play here? So people because, okay, let's say, for example, we don't have enough doctors, and so we want to see how we can provide healthcare to people. You can do that through even Zoom. People you can do WhatsApp video. You know, when I'm talking about technology, it depends on the people. It's where you have to meet the people where they are. But these are opportunities here. Whatever it is that you are doing, I'm sure you will find opportunity here that you can tap into. And these are 60 global hotspots that you can grow in. Look at them, okay? Because of our time, I'm just going to move faster. Okay, so yeah, when it comes to sustainable development, this is your compass. Explore this compass. First of all, start by understanding what sustainable development is. Have a deep understanding of what sustainable development is in the context of the problem that you want to solve. Now, you need to define your priorities. I'm moving fast because of our time. You need to define your priorities. How do you define your priorities so that it's clear that this is what, you know, because you can't do everything. If you try to do everything, you'll be going everywhere. Okay? Define your priorities. Set your goals. What do you want to achieve? What exactly do you want to achieve? So that when you achieve it, you'll be able to know that you have achieved it. Then you need to integrate it properly and effectively into what you're doing. Proper integration. So when we talk about, so if it's circular economy, how do you integrate it effectively? If you're looking at climate action, how do you make sure that you integrate it effectively? If you want to develop a product, how do you make sure that this product is sustainable in the full language of sustainability? How do you make sure that you have integrated the fact that this will protect the environment, that it will ensure social equity, and that it will be economically viable. How do you make sure that? How do you make that happen? You need to integrate properly through, like I told you, talking to the people, using your own skills, your knowledge and everything to design all of this. Okay? Within the concept of integration, I'm also going to talk about importance of collaborating. How do you collaborate with others? Then lastly, when it comes to this compass, you need to report, document your impact and communicate. That's how you'll be able to get good partners. That's how you can attract solid funding. That's how people can even hear what you are doing so that they can know that, oh, you're creating this solution, you're doing this work, you're making this impact, so that you can attract the kind of opportunity, the kind of funding, because there's funding available. I'm telling you the truth. There's a lot of money available for people. You know, we run a fellowship. We run a fellowship for young people, and we are able to get them funding to push their sustainable solution once they can really prove it that this solution and impact has been huge. And as a seed fund, we're able to provide them with through the support of partners and all of that. I'm sure if you follow us, if you follow me, you will see some of the work. We're able to provide them seed funding of 3 million naira, at least to kickstart. And that's not small, you know, when you are talking about the economy and what is available along the line, you know. And I get people coming to me telling me, oh, I do have people where people are always looking. There's funding available for you if you truly design sustainable solutions. You will see the funding, you will get it. The funding.
Okay, Mount Entire, we can't share you at the moment. And for those of us, all right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Do you want to say something?
No, you can continue. You can continue.
Okay. So I have to do this. Let me see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So it's not just about traditional way of reporting right now or communicating. You have the opportunity to, as long as you have the consent of those you are working with, you can communicate, you can share their stories, and you can share your impact stories, you can share the things that you're doing, document it, show it, you know, just show it. That's how you attract the kind of partners, the kind of volunteers, the kind of support, you know, that you need to do more. Not just because you're looking, but that's how you're able to do more. You know, that's how your impact gets amplified. Okay. So the call to action here is that we must be truly agents of change. Okay, must be truly agents of change. We must be truly committed to sustainable development. We should and must advocate for green infrastructure projects and a balance between urbanization and environmental preservation. Very key. You should support, as young people, and this is what you should take back to other young people, support, start, and sustain youth-led initiatives. That's how you can also make sure that they are sustainable and will be there for a long time. Engage communities for local impact. If you are in a community, engage them, because you need to have them involved in whatever it is that you are doing. You know, you don't just create things for people, you co-create with them so that they can be involved, so that they can tell you exactly what is needed, so that you don't go and do so many things and then you come back and realize that it's not needed. I'm sure many of us know the story of those that tried to build borehole for a community because they felt like the women going to the streams was poor. So they wanted to help them solve their problem. But that was not, they didn't speak to them. If they had spoken to them, they would have understood that for the women, going to the stream was a time for them to hang out and be able to discuss and just a time to relax and be out of the house. But they built it very close to the village where the women would just walk down and bring the water. So when you want to solve problems for people, don't assume, you know, so engage communities so that you can have local impact. Yeah. So encourage girls' education and skill development. This is very important when it comes to, and it's not just for the sake of, oh, let girls, no. It's because you are putting money on the table when a particular, you can imagine. So in the world right now, let's even say, okay, we have 50%, you know, because it's either you're a man or a woman. At least we're in Africa, so I can say that. It's either you're a man or you are a woman. So now imagine that in the context of that, only half of that is actually engaged. The other half, they are not. So that means that we are not being as productive as we should be. That's why we need to engage, encourage girls' education and skill development. Then let's advance gender equity in the context of sustainable development. I like the lady who spoke about getting women into positions of power. We need to advocate for it. We need to push for it, you know, so that women, just like we're saying that Africans understand Africa's problem. When women are in the place of authority, they know what other women also want. A woman understands what it is when you talk about maternal health, you know. So if a woman is in a position to make decisions regarding maternal health, you would expect that she will know the things to do, you know, unlike if a man was there, because it doesn't affect him directly. A woman who understands maternal health can know the policies and principles, the policies and resources and infrastructure to put in place to make sure that a woman is well taken care of. Women receive the support that they need when it comes to maternal health. Okay. So support women's entrepreneurship and leadership, and then collaborate. Yes, collaboration is key. Collaborate among yourself, collaborate with NGOs, collaborate with government, collaborate as much as you can, you know, because that's where the juice is. So thank you very much. I can take questions right now. Thank you. I hope you learned. Were able to learn.
Thank you for
the session.
Thank you for this wonderful session, Mark. It's been an amazing session indeed, and which you've taken us through the strategies and solutions for African transformation. And I believe we are all enlightened and educated about this. Now, right about now, we just take one or two questions. And if you have a question, please kindly raise your hand and you're going to ask your question. I'm going to call two people. However, this is our last session for this foundation phase of the program. So we call Anta. But please, I'll prefer you rename your display name. Let your display name be in the right order so that it can be easy to appoint you. All right, Anta, please ask your question in 30 seconds. Why is Sunday also prepared to ask this question?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Antia.
Go ahead, Antia.
My question is that if, for example, now like quality education, if you check the northern part of the country, that Nigeria, now for example, so what will be the solution for them to have, because we have enough displaced people saved out there, out of school, then how are we going to impact them? Because by coordinating them, we know that one thing like religious believe affect them also, and they don't have a good water safe there.
Okay, so what's your question? Sorry.
My question is, how are we going to tackle those that area, and how are we going to make sure that they have good quality education in that particular region?
Okay. I think we just take one more question. Can we take Sunday? Can you unmute your mic and ask your question? Please make it very brief, and we'll have to round up this session very soon. All right, over to you. And those of us on YouTube, if you have a question, can you use the comment section to ask your question so that the program managers can pick it up from there. All right, Sunday, please unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Mario, I'm grateful. And thank you to our madam. Yes. I would just like to confirm and ask a question in the sense that as a certified SDG advocate, I discovered that in the course of doing the Own the School project that we did some time ago, I realized that a lot of schools, a lot of people, a lot of institutions, they don't even know what is called the SDG. Okay, they don't even know what SDGs are. To be fair, I was in that position before, thanks to SDSN. I'm no longer there. Now, my question is this: how can we get? Of course, I advocate for gender equality. My former boss was running for governor of Cross River State before, so I support gender balance. Now, how can we get materials like textbooks and because these schools, if you go to these schools, they are interested in seeing that, oh, this thing is authentic. How can we get materials, textbooks, and all those things that we can use? Because I have a platform, a social media platform that I use to engage my students. So how can we get materials? That's just my problem. How can I get materials, textbooks, and all that too? Because you have to show them something that will attract them, and then make them want to sit down and listen to you. So that's my question, basically. How can we really capture their interest?
All right, Mike, over to you now.
Okay, so you can actually, I'm trying to look for something that I wanted to show you, but it's not close by. Okay, so when it comes to you have to just, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So you have to be able to improvise. Do you understand? You start small. Everything actually starts small. So so for us, we run a project called Teach the SDGs with We for Good. So what we do is that we have volunteers that sign up and they go to schools to teach young people SDGs. So we have we work with governments, to have to provide us with opportunity, with time, for people to be able, so you can come. So there's this morning session where they usually have just to talk to them, and then so our volunteers go around that time and then they take the session. So we've broken it into a curriculum that they can teach and then complete the 17 goals. And there are times when we also, if it's we also have periods where we've taken it as a competition where we really teach them, and at the end of the day we have corporate partnerships where we then have the employees of those organizations probably go there to teach, and then at the end of the day we can have competition with the children where they will come and talk about the SDGs, maybe like and then they will get gifts and all of that. Do you understand? So you have to start small. Do you get it? You have to be able to start small, design materials that you can use. So for that we basically had that's what I was looking for, but I don't have it. I can't see it around here. So you have what do you call this, flashcards, flashcards that you can show the kids around each of the goals and show them this is goal 1, something like that, and talk about it and everything. So you have to be able to make do, because I wouldn't say that I'm sure if you go online you definitely find materials, and I could also share materials, and it depends on where you are and how you can pick up. We have some magazines Just give me 1 second. Let me see if I have anyone. Just hold on.
While she picks up the magazine for us to see, I believe we all have the link for the evaluation form for today. Please ensure you fill it before you leave the session, before you leave today's class, and you're going to get further information about the next phase of the program. As we all know that today is the last session for the foundation phase of this program. So the link has been shared, and I'm also trying to drop, please, Tolua, kindly drop the link again so that those who have not been able to participate in the evaluation aspect to do that. And also remember that I'm just trying to cover up why she gets that. Also remember that, okay, she's back now. All right.
I can't find any of the magazines around, but we actually have some magazines that we can that it depends on where you are and how it can be, that we can actually send to anybody who wants, maybe send to Emmanuel, and then you can use them when you go for some of your sessions, and you can give them to, you can also give to the best kids. You can also give to the best kids. And you can also give to the best kids. Do you understand? Okay.
So there was a question initially from one of the colleagues. He was asking how they can get to implement their projects. I knew you answered the question that has to do with the other man in terms of teaching.
Yes, what was the question? I didn't hear the question. Can you hear me?
Yes. So his question, I believe his question was related to one of the SDGs, that how can they get to implement? I want to see if his hand is still up. Okay, I don't think his hand is up again. Maybe we just take the, I want to be sure those of us that are on YouTube too are not missing out in this. And please just use the Q&A session. It makes it easy for us to sift through your question and ensure that none of those questions have been not attended to. So the YouTube participant, they don't have any questions. So those of us on Zoom, we can just raise your hand if you still want to ask a question. We'll take one more question for today. I know it's been a long time for Madam. She has been with us on this call. Can we? Okay. And I want to appreciate you, Ma, for the wonderful time you spent with us. Thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate you. Thank you for the wonderful time. And we hope to always have you around in each and every of our events. And please, she's a great person you can connect with and you can learn further with. And right about now, I would just like to give her the opportunity to take her lead, as she also has some other engagement for the other day. On behalf of the organization, we sincerely thank you. Thank you for all you do for us. Thank you for this wonderful and impactful session. And we wish you a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much. It's been my honor. Thank you very much for having me. And I wish you all the best with your projects.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, right about now, I believe you can hear me. I just want to confirm if I'm audible. I'm not sure.
I know. Hi. Hello, we can't hear you anymore.
Sorry, apologies. That's a network issues from my end, and the network has been amazing. Sorry about that. Apologies about that. I was trying to give an appreciation before the network logged me off. Okay, right about now, I believe we've come to the end of today's session. And yeah, it's been an amazing one indeed. And we believe that each and every one of us has been impacted. And if you have any question, please feel free to reach out to us. We are going to get to, we are going to engage you more and provide more information about that. But please keep watch to your email and to the WhatsApp community for further information about the next phase of the program. I want to wish each and everyone a wonderful weekend. Please don't forget, tomorrow we are going to be having the, that's the knowledge evaluation by 7 p.m. tomorrow. Then more information are going to be shared. But I wish you a wonderful weekend and enjoy the rest of the day.